to them by their oncologist. Unfortunately, most oncologists don't give the patients a real and scientifically accurate answer. Some oncologists even say, eat whatever you want. Doesn't really matter. Nothing can be further from the truth. If the cancer comes back, almost certainly it's because the stem cells of the cancer regenerated the cancer. So, good news. There's foods that can kill cancer stem cells. Like what? Like...
Could the hot cereal you ate this morning secretly be feeding cancer cells inside your body? Many adults over 50 unknowingly choose grains that spike blood sugar, fill their bodies with harmful heavy metals, or even expose themselves to mold-made toxins linked directly to increased liver cancer risk. But don't panic. Stay right here, because in just seconds you'll learn about one grain already sitting in your pantry that actually slams the door on tumor-building blood vessels. Whole, steel-cut oats. By the end of this video, you'll have discovered 4 powerful, scientifically proven super grains to strengthen your defenses against disease, as well as 4 risky grains you should limit, or avoid entirely, to safeguard the healthy life you've worked so hard to build. If you're currently battling cancer, are in remission, or simply determined never to face a relapse, choosing the wrong bowl of grains can sabotage months of careful treatment, lead to harsher chemotherapy, or turn your next routine medical checkup into devastating news. But here's the good news. Making the right dietary choices, based on groundbreaking angiogenesis research by Dr. William Lee, can help starve tumors by cutting off their blood supply, calm dangerous inflammation, and stabilize hormone levels that cancers often exploit. In the next 30 minutes, you'll gain 8 critical insights. You'll uncover 4 super grains, specifically highlighted by Dr. Lee for their potent ability to boost immunity, stabilize blood sugar, and actively fight cancer growth. You'll also learn about 4 common but risky grains that hide dangerous aflatoxins, arsenic, or empty carbs capable of accelerating aging. Additionally, you'll get precise shopping tips, including brands, colors, and serving sizes, as well as cooking hacks proven to slash toxin levels by up to 50%. Finally, you'll see exactly how to incorporate these grains into a simple, seamless, doctor-approved daily plan. Stay tuned. In about 20 seconds, I'll reveal the grain most likely to contain a Group 1 carcinogen, yet it's routinely served in millions of senior centers each week. But don't worry, there's a simple 2-step kitchen trick that instantly makes it far safer. Just a quick reminder, this guide provides important education but never replaces personalized advice from your oncology team or primary healthcare provider. Always check with your medical team before making dietary changes. Super grain number 1, whole steel-cut oats.
Now, oatmeal is good for you. It turns out that oatmeal, which is made out of oats, which is a whole grain, is something that actually helps your body in all kinds of different ways. So let's go look at some of those details. First, what's in an oat? Oats, like other plant-based foods, contain natural bioactives. One of them is called avenanthramide, avenanthramide, avenanthramide. I like to spell out some of the complicated words because sometimes people take notes or they can't, and they need to actually write it down. And also beta-glucan, beta-D-glucan, B-E-T-A-D as in David, glucan, G-L-U-C-A-N. So avenanthramide and beta-glucan are actually some of the natural bioactives, 2 important natural bioactives that are found in oats and in oatmeal. Now, I will also tell you that the avenanthramide is also used in skin cream. There is a skin cream called Aveeno. It's very common. If you are a parent, you probably used it to rub on your child's skin when they were young. And guess what? Not only is it moisturizing, but it's anti-inflammatory. All right. And it's anti-inflammatory even when you rub the oatmeal bioactive avenanthramide on top of the skin. So you might imagine what happens when you actually have avenanthramide inside your body. So we're going to talk about that in just 1 second. Now, beta-D-glucan, the other oat-derived natural bioactive, is known as a soluble fiber. And you've probably already recognized that fibers are good for gut health. But I'll tell you, beta-D-glucan is also found in, for example, mushrooms, also found in barley, also found in rye. So think about rye bread, okay? But beta-glucan is also found in oats, as I mentioned to you. Now, researchers in the lab have found that beta-glucan is super anti-inflammatory. And not only that, beta-glucan also lowers cholesterol, so it's good for our blood lipids, and it's a source of dietary fiber from oats that actually feeds our gut microbiome. Now, you know the gut microbiome is the 39 trillion bacteria that live in our body. Most of them are actually inside our gut. They're in the tail end of the gut in the colon, and the part of the colon they live is called the cecum, C-E-C-U-M. It's the same area that the appendix is actually located at. In fact, we're beginning to recognize the appendix probably has an air traffic control like function with the gut microbiome. That's an area of research that's being worked on right now. So beta-glucan, good for the gut microbiome. Now, I've actually, as a food as medicine researcher, been looking at these bioactives from oats, all right? So one of the things that we've done is to ask if avenanthromide is anti-inflammatory and beta-glucan is actually good for healing from the gut perspective, what else can avenanthromides and beta-glucan do? So we've actually took oats and had extracts made from them. So we had pure avenanthromide, pure beta-glucan, and we tested it in a model for wound healing. Now, why did we do that? Well, because I can tell you as a doctor, wounds, specifically chronic wounds. I'm not talking about the paper cut that heals right up. I'm talking about people who are in a nursing home with bed sores. I'm talking about people with diabetes who have diabetic foot ulcers that don't heal. People with vascular disease, they've got blockages in their arteries, and so they develop wounds that just don't heal. Now, imagine if you had an injury, a cut that didn't heal, and eventually that could get infected and get really nasty. And in the case of people with diabetes, for example, those wounds can become gangrenous, and it can lead to the amputation of an entire leg. So it's an area of research I've been working on for angiogenesis because you need new blood vessels to heal them. It's a whole other story I'll talk about in another video, but I will tell you that I'm one of the experts out there in wound healing. So like other ways that I've studied food as medicine, we've taken a model that's used to test pharmaceuticals or medical devices. In this case, you get a lab animal that has a punch biopsy, and you've got a little perfect circular wound that's full thickness, all right? And then you let the wound heal up by itself, and so we know exactly how fast that wound is going to heal. And in another group of animals, we made the same full thickness wound, and what we did in that group is we injected avenanthromide or beta-glucan right into the corners of the wound to see what would happen. And I'll tell you what was amazing that we found. This is like where the light bulbs go off when you, as a scientist, the eureka moment, is we found that the oat extracts would speed up the time it took to heal the wound. In fact, it doubled the rate of wound healing. We didn't think that was actually possible, but in fact, we took normal healthy wounds and we were able to cut the healing in half. When we actually looked at under the microscope at what was actually happening in the tissue, we found that the oats extracts stimulated more angiogenesis, all right, decreased inflammation, so there was much less inflammation, which is really good. You don't want wounds to have inflammation. But the big surprise for us was that the wounds that healed were, wait for it, scarless. Amazing, all right? And so we presented this at a wound healing meeting with other researchers, and everybody was like super surprised that we found this. But this is actually the nature of food as medicine research. We get to discover all kinds of cool things that Mother Nature actually has already packed into foods that we're eating. And when we looked even closer, we found that the beta-glucan actually stimulated stem cells as part of the healing process. Stem cells are part of our regenerative health defense system. So not surprisingly, if you're stimulating stem cells, that's more likely you're going to actually get scarless healing. So this is about oatmeal. This is an extract. I just told you about a research study that we've done in the lab. But now I want to talk to you about oatmeal that you would eat for breakfast, okay? Oatmeal is a complex carb. It's a good source of protein, and it's got the dietary fiber, as I said, that actually is good for your gut microbiome. So I'm just telling you, oatmeal is actually good for you, but you want to actually get a good oatmeal. So let's talk about the different kinds of oatmeal that are out there. So you probably have seen steel cut oatmeal, steel cut oats, or oatmeal from steel cut oats. And this is probably the best kind of oatmeal to have. You know why? Because it has the least amount of processing. As we know, when you actually have whole foods that are not very processed and definitely not ultra processed, that's the best form for your actually health. So what are actually steel cut oats? Well, oats are from the plant. They're these little kernels. And what to get steel cut oats, what they do is they toast the oat kernels and then they cut them into pieces with a steel blade. All right, chop, chop, chop. And then when you buy them, they're just ready to be soaking in water, like hot water, boiling water, and you can cook them. It takes in water maybe 30 to 40 minutes to actually cook them when you're stirring them. All right. But then they actually hydrate. In other words, they soak up the water and they're nice and soft, and you've got some nice oatmeal. This is something you can actually do, by the way, the night before with steel cut oats.
Whole, steel-cut oats are one of the most powerful grains you can choose, especially if you're determined to fight cancer, lower cholesterol, and protect your heart. Here's why they matter. Whole oats contain a remarkable soluble fiber called beta-glucan, which acts like a gentle broom, literally trapping harmful LDL cholesterol particles and escorting them safely out of your body. A study in Clinical Nutrition ESPN that evaluated 13 clinical trials confirmed that regularly eating oats, or even just isolated oat beta-glucan, significantly lowered LDL cholesterol, reducing heart attack risk by double digits. But oats offer another, even more impressive cancer-specific advantage. According to Dr. William Lee, beta-glucan doesn't just reduce cholesterol, it also acts like a coach for your immune system. It specifically trains your natural killer, NK cells, your immune system's most powerful anti-cancer defenders, to better recognize, target, and destroy rogue cancer cells before they have the chance to form visible tumors. This extraordinary immune-boosting effect means that something as simple as a bowl of oats could help your body prevent cancer cells from ever gaining a foothold. To maximize these cancer-fighting benefits, here's exactly how to incorporate steel-cut oats into your daily routine. Start with a half cup of dry steel-cut oats, providing about 3 grams of protective beta-glucan. Cook them gently, simmering for around 20 minutes to maintain their chewy texture, which ensures a slow, steady release of energy without blood sugar spikes. For extra nutritional power and flavor, top your oatmeal with a 1/4 cup of fresh berries, rich in antioxidants, and a tablespoon of pumpkin seeds, loaded with immune-boosting minerals. Skip the brown sugar. This simple combination provides natural sweetness and potent cancer protection. Stay tuned. In just 30 seconds, you'll learn about a dangerously misleading oatmeal product. Many seniors unknowingly buy this seemingly healthy breakfast item, yet it spikes blood glucose harder than a sugary soda. Instant-flavored oatmeal packets may sound healthy and convenient, but here's the harsh truth. They're typically pre-cooked, finely ground, and loaded with 10 to 15 grams of hidden sugars per packet. These sugary instant oatmeal packets can send your blood glucose and insulin soaring, sometimes even higher than sugary drinks. To avoid this hidden danger, choose plain instant oats only for emergencies. Instead of sugar, stir in natural flavors like vanilla, cinnamon, or even a teaspoon of unsweetened cocoa for flavor without glucose spikes. Ignoring this critical oatmeal tweak could inadvertently feed insulin-like growth factors, compounds that certain aggressive tumors rely on to grow and thrive. But by mastering the simple routine of cooking whole, steel-cut oats, you directly starve these cancer cells of their favorite fuel source, excess blood sugar. Now let's dive even deeper into the powerful hidden benefits of oats beyond cholesterol and cancer defense. Steel-cut oats are naturally rich in sleep-enhancing tryptophan, which helps your body produce calming serotonin and melatonin, vital during cancer recovery and for reducing chemo-related insomnia. Additionally, oats nourish healthy gut bacteria, improving digestion and strengthening your gut's protective immune barrier. For a delicious and convenient variation, soak steel-cut oats overnight in unsweetened almond or oat milk, adding chia seeds and cinnamon for even greater nutritional impact and easier digestion. Stay right here, because next you'll uncover the grain most commonly contaminated with a Group 1 carcinogen, served every week in senior centers nationwide, and exactly how to detoxify it at home with a simple kitchen trick. Super grain. Number 2. Quinoa.
Quinoa, great source of protein. It also has the benefit of having all essential amino acids needed for health. Now, protein in your body is built from amino acids, and you can't make all the amino acids that you need in your body. There's 9 of them you need that are essential, meaning you need to get it from your diet. And quinoa is the solution. It's got the protein, it's got all 9 amino acids. 1 cup of quinoa has 8 grams of protein, and the quinoa is also a source of dietary fiber, good for gut health, lowering inflammation, all supports longevity.
Quinoa is your next powerful super grain. Though technically a seed, it acts exactly like a grain and delivers some truly extraordinary benefits. Unlike most plant foods, quinoa uniquely provides all 9 essential amino acids your body needs to maintain muscle and boost immunity, especially crucial during cancer recovery. Additionally, quinoa is loaded with protective polyphenols that actively block DNA damage caused by dangerous free radicals. These natural antioxidants help guard your cells from harm, slowing the aging process and keeping tissues resilient. Even more impressive, quinoa has a proven direct cancer-fighting edge. Laboratory research consistently demonstrates that quinoa extracts significantly slow the growth of prostate and liver cancer cells. How? By limiting oxidative stress, a key driver behind tumor growth. Quinoa essentially starves cancer cells, preventing them from thriving. These remarkable findings were clearly outlined in recent comprehensive analyses published in Science Direct. Preparing quinoa at home is quick and easy. Simply measure a 1/4 cup dry quinoa, which cooks up to about 3/4 of a cup. Rinse it briefly under water to remove bitter saponins, and cook gently for 15 minutes in 2 parts water. This preparation ensures quinoa stays fluffy, nutritious, and delicious. Stay tuned, because in just moments, you'll discover a little-known grain that stabilizes blood sugar even more effectively than oatmeal. Yet 80% of Americans have never even tasted it. Quinoa is the perfect balance of protein and fiber that helps stabilize insulin levels, actively depriving fat-loving cancers of the sugar spikes they crave for rapid growth. By steadily maintaining healthy insulin levels, quinoa indirectly helps starve tumors of easy calories, making it an ideal addition to any cancer-fighting meal plan. But quinoa's power doesn't stop there. Let's talk practical, delicious ways to enjoy quinoa while maximizing its anti-cancer punch. Try a vibrant quinoa tabbouleh salad by mixing cooked quinoa with fresh parsley, lemon juice, tomatoes, and cucumber. Parsley's powerful flavonoid, apigenin, adds an extra protective layer, directly targeting tumor cells and reducing inflammation. Another quick idea. Stir quinoa into soups or pair it with black beans and roasted vegetables for a nutrient-rich, protein-packed dinner. Remember, every single quinoa-rich meal you enjoy helps build stronger immunity, sharper focus, and greater energy, giving your body the fuel it needs to fight back against cancer cells. Skipping quinoa means potentially allowing blood sugar to fluctuate, increasing inflammation, and giving tumor cells the glucose-rich environment they need. But regularly including quinoa in your diet equips your body to maintain steady blood sugar, reduce inflammation, and maintain resilience during cancer treatments. Coming next, we'll unveil a surprisingly powerful grain that's likely sitting untouched in your grocery store, but which quietly outperforms oatmeal in steadying blood sugar. Yet 80% of Americans still never buy it. Stay tuned. You'll learn exactly how to prepare this hidden grain easily and deliciously, unlocking yet another potent cancer defense tool. Super grain number 3, barley.
Barley. I love barley. It's a great food. And guess what? Barley also has beta-D-glucan, just like oats. And guess what it does? It lowers bad cholesterol. Again, the beta-D-glucan forms a gel in your gut. That gel binds up the cholesterol and the beta-glucan so that you don't absorb it in your bloodstream. And the beta-glucan also helps to improve the health of your gut bacteria, your gut microbiome, which then lowers your lipids, good for heart health, all right? Lowers inflammation, good for heart health, and improves your metabolism, good for heart health. Bing, 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 check, check, check. This is a way to check all those boxes for heart health. And, you know, in as much as oatmeal is super simple for breakfast, barley, amazing. You can actually make it into a stew, all right? It's so easy, and I love barley dishes. Now, what's the clinical evidence, though? That's actually really important. Well, a clinical study in Japan looked at 44 people. These were men who were heavy. They were obese. And they found that if they gave them a meal with rice and pearl barley every day for 12 weeks, okay, that's 3 months, they had a drop in their total cholesterol by 5%, okay, and their bad LDL cholesterol went down by 4%. Now, here's the thing. No statins added to this, all right? This is just naturally using that method I'm telling you, beta-glucan from barley in this case, but oats in the one that I gave you before, forming that gel, binding up the bad cholesterol and just shooting it out the poop chute, not in your bloodstream. And now you're lowering your bad cholesterol, which then means that you're lowering your risk of heart disease because you have less bad, sticky LDL cholesterol to clog up your arteries. Does that make sense? Okay. Now, in that study, by the way, the subjects who didn't have any barley, they had zero change in their blood cholesterol. So it's the barley that did the trick. You've probably had barley soup at some point in your life. I love barley soup. Barley and mushroom soup, one of my favorites. Make it with some bone broth. Now you get some collagen as well in there. Collagen helps to build, it's good for skin health, good for hair health, good for connective tissue and joints. Man, that's a really good combination, right? Barley, mushrooms, and by the way, mushrooms also have beta-glucan, so you're really adding it up. So if you just look at the foods that I've been talking about, it tastes pretty good. But I'm just telling you, there's real food as medicine research to tell us why these are great choices to make that can be good for heart health and immune health and metabolic health as well. All right. And they both lower inflammation, which is the other thing I told you. When you're clogging up your arteries, it causes your blood vessels, the vasculature of your body, to be inflamed. Vascular inflammation, super dangerous, okay, for heart attack, stroke, other chronic diseases as well. Now, I want to say something about barley because it's been around a long time. Not a fad, not a trend. It's a grain that's been cultivated for more than 2,000 years. And you may know this already, but barley's been used to make beer. Barley's made to use bread. You can make barley into soup, as I said, or even stews. It can even be an alternative to pasta or even rice. You might even see a barley risotto on a menu of an Italian restaurant that's actually trying to be a little forward in with the ingredients they use. My point being that when you see barley in the menu, think, maybe that's got some beta-glucan that's good for my heart health because it lowers cholesterol, all right, and also inflammation. And so that's all good, all right? Now, if you're going to buy barley in a grocery store, you're going to find it in the middle aisle near the rice. I like to talk about the practical stuff, right? So whatever I tell you, you're going to say, so what do I do? What am I supposed to do with that information? So go to the grocery store, you go to the middle aisle, you're going to find the barley near wherever they're selling rice. And here's the thing. You're going to see two kinds of barley in the grocery store, usually. You're going to have hulled barley, Hulled, hulled, all right? And pearl barley, all right? Hull sounds like it's got a husk, and pearl sounds like it's shiny. And that's exactly what it is. Hulled barley is the whole grain version of the barley, okay? And this is where, only the last bit of the outside covering that's not edible has been removed. But you get the rest of it. It's got all the layers, all right? The bran, the germ. These are all things, if you look up on Google, whole grain, you'll get with hulled barley, you'll get the bran and the germ of the barley. And it's got more nutrients because those parts all have their own nutrients and that's why whole grains are better than refined grains, where you remove all the outer layers, all right? But the key thing you need to know, if you get hulled barley, is that it does take a little longer time to cook, all right? The other kind of barley that you can get is called pearled barley, all right? You're going to find that in the middle aisle, and it's called pearled because most of the outer layer, the bran and the germ, has been removed, and then the barley is polished, okay? Like the rocks that people used to polish, like, you say, my grandfather used to polish rocks with a tumbler. Well, barley gets polished as well, and it gets shiny, and that's why it's called pearled, all right? Little bit less nutrient dense than the hulled barley, but still it's got good stuff in it. Or it does have the beta glucan. But here's the advantage. It cooks a lot faster and the texture is a little bit softer. I actually kind of like it a little bit better, tastes better to me than kind of like chewy al dente kind of hulled barley. So it's up to you. Both actually have beta glucan. The pearl barley, softer, cooks a little faster. The flavor is a little more subtle, which is what I actually like. But both are great. All right, depends on the recipe.
Barley is your next powerful grain ally, a true beta-glucan powerhouse. While oats are famous for this beneficial fiber, barley contains even more of this extraordinary nutrient, providing robust protection against blood sugar spikes. A study done in the journal Nutrients confirmed barley's incredible ability to cut post-meal glucose surges by up to 30%. By reducing blood sugar spikes, barley effectively reduces cravings, stabilizes energy levels, and prevents the sharp insulin surges known to feed cancer growth. But how exactly does barley fight cancer? Keeping blood sugar and insulin steady is critical, because elevated insulin acts as a powerful growth signal for insulin-sensitive cancers such as breast and colon cancers. When you maintain steady glucose and lower insulin levels, you actively starve these tumors of the fuel they need to grow, multiply, and spread. Making barley part of your routine is incredibly easy. Simply swap pearled barley for white rice in soups or stews, instantly boosting nutrition and cutting down on risky refined carbohydrates. Another delicious choice. Enjoy half a cup of cooked barley as a warm, comforting breakfast porridge topped with fresh apple slices and cinnamon, giving you a cancer-fighting, blood sugar balancing start to your day. Stay with us. In just 20 seconds, you'll discover a common rice cooking mistake that quietly raises arsenic-related cancer risk by nearly 150%. Even better, you'll immediately learn the cooking hack proven to slash arsenic content by half. But barley's impressive cancer-fighting benefits don't stop at blood sugar. It's also a powerful microbiome booster. Barley naturally promotes the growth of beneficial gut bacteria, particularly species like Blautia, known for their anti-inflammatory properties. According to recent findings published in the journal Nature, this beneficial bacteria directly helps lower chronic inflammation, a hidden but critical cancer risk factor. By supporting your gut's friendly bacteria, barley creates an underappreciated yet essential shield against tumors, reducing inflammation and helping your immune system stay strong. Coming next, you'll see exactly how to protect yourself from arsenic hidden in rice, along with a simple kitchen trick that instantly reduces this risk by half, safeguarding your body against a dangerous, often overlooked carcinogen. Stay tuned. Supergrain number 4. Buckwheat. Buckwheat is your next powerful supergrain. Though technically a seed known as a pseudo-cereal, it delivers unique health benefits unmatched by traditional grains. Buckwheat is rich in an exceptional flavonoid called rutin, scientifically proven to strengthen your capillaries, enhance blood flow, and notably reduce chronic inflammation, as highlighted by experts from Harvard Health. But buckwheat doesn't stop there. It has a powerful, direct anti-cancer advantage. Research consistently demonstrates that rutin extracts from buckwheat effectively slow the growth of aggressive tumor cells, including those from bone cancer, by blocking the NF-kappa B signaling pathway. This pathway is notoriously hijacked by cancer cells for survival and growth, so when buckwheat interrupts this signal, it actively cuts off a critical lifeline for tumor cells, underscoring buckwheat's remarkable anti-cancer properties. Preparing buckwheat at home is simple and quick. Choose toasted buckwheat groats, also known as kasha. Boil 1 part groats to 2 parts water for just 10 minutes, and enjoy. This versatile grain makes a perfect, nutritious base for vegetable stir-fries, hearty soups, or even cold grain salads, providing satisfying texture and flavor while protecting your cells. Stay tuned, because in just moments you'll discover a common grain snack often found in trail mixes, snack bars, and holiday stuffings that secretly contains a liver cancer toxin few people recognize. But first, let's explore another powerful benefit, especially important for older adults: buckwheat's impressive magnesium content. Magnesium helps relax arteries and maintain healthy blood pressure, directly reducing stroke and heart disease risks, which tend to rise significantly after age 50. Sadly, many seniors don't get enough magnesium from diet alone. The good news? Just half a cup of cooked buckwheat provides approximately 60 milligrams of magnesium. easily helping you reach your daily goal and supporting overall cardiovascular health. Consider the inspiring story of Maria, a vibrant 62-year-old colon cancer survivor. Maria swapped her morning white toast for comforting cinnamon-flavored buckwheat porridge. Within just 6 weeks, her fasting glucose levels dropped dramatically, from 180 down to a healthy 125 milligrams per deciliter. Her oncologist was thrilled, noting how stabilizing glucose levels significantly reduces cancer recurrence risk. Maria's simple dietary shift lowered her inflammation, stabilized her energy, and provided peace of mind, proving again how small dietary swaps deliver enormous health victories. Next, learn about the hidden grain snack secretly carrying a dangerous liver cancer toxin, and how you can quickly protect yourself and your loved ones. Risky pick number 1. White refined wheat flour. White bread, white pasta.
Okay, first of all, where do most of us get bread, right? Now, if you live in the French countryside or Italy, you might be lucky enough to actually walk to your local baker in the morning and get freshly baked bread. Most of us don't, all right? Most of us live near a grocery store, and we go to the grocery store to buy most of our stuff, most of our food, and you go to the bread section to buy bread, all right? And that's where the problem actually begins. So let's talk about the most common kinds of bread that you find in the grocery store. And the problem that starts is because most of them are mass-produced, factory-made, ultra-processed foods, all right? Now, you know already that ultra-processed foods aren't good. And when bread, which could be very easily baked, right? You think about it. If you actually make the dough, make it rise, and put it in the oven and bake it. That's it. It's been done for thousands of years, right? It's a rustic tradition. Nope, that's not a factory. The factory actually has to machine it and add all kinds of stuff to it. And that's where you actually get the problems. Refined flour and added sugar and all these additives and chemical preservatives. These are all things that you don't want to have in your body. All right. So I want to actually kind of unpack this for you and help you take a closer look at what some of the problems are with grocery store factory-made bread. All right. Now, the first thing is that when you walk into the grocery store, right, I always tell people, first go to the produce section, see what's fresh, what's seasonal, load all that up there. Now you know you got the good stuff that you should be getting before you go anywhere else. All right. But eventually you're probably going to get to that bread section. And there's two choices usually in today's bakeries or grocery stores. Number one, a lot of grocery stores have their own bakery, and you can just buy bread that might have been made there. Or you kind of go and look at the shelf, and it's like a library of bread, stack after stack after stack after stack of these plastic sleeves with square breads that are in this giant rectangle. They've been pre-sliced. Sound familiar? Yeah, I grew up with that stuff too. All right. Now, here's the thing. Those breads in a plastic sleeve that's got that little square plastic tie to cinch it, the pre-sliced stuff, tends to last a long time. Who knows how long it's been sitting on that shelf? And even though it's bread, it might have little or no fiber. And fiber is what we're generally looking for as part of most of our diet now in order to be able to feed our gut microbiome, okay? That's our healthy gut bacteria. You and I, we got 39 trillion healthy bacteria that's in our gut. Those healthy bacteria do a lot of things for us. They actually help us lower inflammation. They help our insulin sensitivity work well. So we've got good blood sugar control. They help to lower our cholesterol. These are the best statins there are. They actually live already in our gut, all right? They can help us heal from the inside out. They can text message our brain, the gut bacteria. Lots of things these gut bacteria does if you have a good, healthy gut microbiome. And dietary fiber is what you really want. And here's the thing, is that most factory-made breads missing the fiber. So you're missing an opportunity. You're getting the carb, but you're missing the fiber. And that's why the traditional white bread, you've probably heard about that used in a derogatory sense. Hey, that white bread. Well, the white bread that most of us grew up with, missing this opportunity for crucial health using dietary fiber for our metabolism to lower inflammation from chronic disease. All right. So You actually want that dietary fiber missing in factory-made bread.
The first risky grain you need to watch out for is white, refined wheat flour, the main ingredient in white bread, white pasta, and many common baked goods. Why is this grain so dangerous? Refining wheat strips away its bran and germ layers, removing up to 75% of the fiber, vitamins, minerals, and cancer-fighting phytonutrients your body desperately needs. A study in the Eurasian Journal of Medicine and Oncology clearly showed that frequent consumption of white bread was linked to a shocking threefold increase in the risk of developing gastric cancer. But why exactly is refined flour so problematic for cancer prevention and recovery? The answer lies in its rapid absorption into your bloodstream. Without fiber to slow digestion, refined white flour products rapidly spike your blood sugar levels, leading to surges in insulin, a hormone tumors use as a powerful growth signal. High insulin not only feeds tumor growth, but also triggers inflammation, weakening your immune system and accelerating cancer progression. Thankfully, there's a safe, easy, and delicious fix you can implement immediately. Simply swap out refined white bread and pasta for 100% whole grain or sprouted grain varieties. Look carefully at nutrition labels. Aim for at least 3 grams of fiber per slice or serving. This simple change ensures you get the cancer-protective fiber and nutrients your body needs while preventing dangerous blood sugar spikes. Stay tuned. Coming up next is the grain often unknowingly consumed by millions each day. Discover this hidden threat and exactly how to protect yourself in just 15 seconds. Risky pick number 2. White rice. The second risky grain you need to be aware of is white rice, especially high arsenic varieties commonly consumed across millions of homes. White rice might seem harmless and gentle on digestion, but its hidden arsenic content is deeply concerning. A study in Frontiers in Nutrition revealed a startling fact. Simply shifting from less than 1 serving of rice per day to exactly 1 daily serving could raise the risk of certain cancers by nearly 150%. This risk comes from inorganic arsenic, a toxic heavy metal naturally present in water and soil, readily absorbed by rice plants and accumulated at high levels within the grains themselves. But don't worry. There's a straightforward, 2-step fix to protect yourself immediately. First, always select safer sources of rice. Research clearly shows that rice grown in regions such as California, particularly California-grown basmati, or imported Thai jasmine rice, typically contains about 30% less arsenic compared to many other common varieties. This simple swap significantly lowers your exposure without sacrificing taste or nutrition. Second, change your cooking method. Instead of using the traditional absorption method, cook rice more like pasta. Simply boil 1 cup of rice in at least 6 cups of water, then drain off the excess water once cooked. According to the UO, American Cancer Society, this cooking technique effectively cuts arsenic content by approximately 50%, dramatically reducing your risk without changing the rice's texture or flavor. Stay tuned, because in just 30 seconds, you'll learn about a popular popcorn kernel quietly delivering a Group 1 carcinogen right into your bowl. You won't want to miss this hidden threat and the simple way to eliminate it completely. Risky pick number 3. Corn grits, chips, and popcorn prone to aflatoxin. The third risky grain lurking in your kitchen might surprise you. Corn-based foods like grits, chips, and popcorn, especially those stored improperly. Here's why they're dangerous. Corn stored in warm, humid conditions often becomes a perfect breeding ground for harmful molds that produce aflatoxin B1, a potent carcinogen officially classified by international health agencies as a Group 1 substance, meaning it's proven to cause liver cancer. Research and studies in toxins show that continuous exposure to aflatoxins through popular corn snacks and cereals can significantly increase your risk of developing hepatocellular carcinoma, liver cancer, especially if your body is already challenged by hepatitis infections or other liver stresses. Fortunately, there's an easy way to protect yourself and still enjoy your favorite crunchy snacks. First, always look for brands specifically labeled as mycotoxin screened or aflatoxin tested, a clear indication the company actively monitors their products for these harmful molds and toxins. Additionally, try rotating in safer alternatives that offer satisfying crunch without risk. Air-popped sorghum or roasted chickpeas both deliver great taste, powerful nutrition, and zero aflatoxin risk. Stay right here, because the final risky grain is one many people mistakenly consider a healthy breakfast choice, yet it can spike your blood sugar even faster than a sugary donut. Don't miss the important details, coming in just seconds. Risky pick number 4. Flavored instant oatmeal and sugary breakfast cereals.
Instant oatmeal, and this is what I told you I grew up with, all right? These are super ultra processed. I would never feed it to a family today. It's the least desirable if you actually have a choice of rolled oats or steel cut oats. And the reason is that's ultra processed. And these oats are convenient. I got to tell you, this oatmeal is very convenient. They come in packages, and they're labeled in boxes, and they've got, cinnamon, they've got maple flavor, they come with apple pieces. Because they're often packaged in plastic, watch out. This ultra processed food packaging can actually contain microplastics that get shed in there. So this is another reason I'm giving you the caution that the ultra processed version of oatmeals are not the most desirable one. Now, these instant oats are pre-cooked, all right? They're rolled flat, they're cut into small flakes, all right? They're super fast to prepare because they're basically cooked and they're tiny, so they actually cook quickly. And they actually then are pre-portioned out into servings. And then additives are put into the package, all right? They might add sugar. They might add artificial flavoring. They might add preservatives. They might add artificial coloring. That's definitely not for the healthiest form of oatmeal. And sometimes they've got little bits of fruit that might be in there, like dried apples. And again, that's dried apples is ultra processed from someone else, some other company that put them in, and they're mixing them all together. And if you look at the side of the package, you'll see all those ingredients that are in there. So definitely check the ingredients and make sure that you're comfortable with everything that you're actually eating. Now, instant oatmeal cooks super fast, like, just a couple of minutes, boom, you're done. They're kind of mushy because they're already pre-cooked and pretty massaged. And so that's not really the ideal way, but they're super convenient. And that's really what led us down this path of eating a lot of ultra convenient food, cheap and fast. But now we know cheap and fast may not be the best way to actually have your breakfast. You'd rather, like every other meal, have a little bit of the less processed food, have the whole food. That version is best.
The 4th risky grain lurking on breakfast tables everywhere is flavored instant oatmeal and sugary breakfast cereals, often mistakenly labeled as healthy or heart smart. Here's the alarming truth. Pre-sweetened instant oats have an extremely high glycemic index of 82, placing them on par with white bread in terms of blood sugar impact. Even more troubling, a single serving can secretly contain up to 12 teaspoons of sugar, often hiding behind labels like natural flavor or brown sugar flavor. This excessive sugar leads directly to rapid glucose spikes, triggering inflammatory cascades within your body. Worse still, these blood sugar surges cause massive insulin bursts, exactly the type of hormone spike that certain aggressive cancers love to exploit for rapid growth and proliferation. For cancer survivors, anyone undergoing treatment, or those actively working to avoid cancer altogether, consuming sugary cereals and instant oatmeal could inadvertently fuel tumor progression and inflammation, sabotaging your health goals. Fortunately, there's a simple, delicious fix. Switch immediately to plain steel-cut oats or unsweetened shredded wheat cereal. Sweeten your bowl naturally with antioxidant-rich berries or a chopped date, skipping added syrups and sugars altogether. This easy change will maintain steady blood sugar, curb inflammation, and actively support your body's cancer defense. Stay tuned. Next, you'll receive a quick summary of exactly what you've learned today and the simple next steps you can take to start protecting yourself with every meal. Still ahead, stay right here, because in just a moment you'll learn a powerful 30-second pantry audit that you can do tonight to lock in every health change from this video. Now, let's begin your transformative 3-minute pantry audit. First, divide your pantry shelves into clear zones. Your top shelf will feature daily super grains like steel-cut oats, quinoa, hulled barley, and buckwheat, keeping these healthy choices at eye level for easy access. Your middle shelf is for occasional grains, such as California basmati rice and sprouted grain bread, beneficial yet best enjoyed in moderation. On the bottom shelf, clearly label your red flag grains, corn chips, and flavored instant oat packets, as rare treats, helping you avoid temptation and safeguarding your health. Next, use masking tape to clearly label portions on jars or packages, marking them as 1/2 cup cooked, 3/4 cup cooked, or 1 packet max per week, eliminating guesswork and ensuring consistent, healthy servings. Don't forget cold storage. Delicate grains like buckwheat and quinoa belong in your refrigerator to preserve their beneficial natural oils and nutritional quality. To see how these super grains can easily fit into your daily routine, here's an inspiring sample day plan. Start your day with cinnamon-infused steel-cut oats, 1/2 cup dry, topped with fresh, antioxidant-rich blueberries. At lunch, enjoy a nutritious quinoa lentil bowl garnished with vibrant arugula and lemon vinaigrette. For a snack, pair buckwheat crackers with 2 tablespoons of creamy hummus. Dinner brings comforting salmon chowder, thickened healthfully with a 1/2 cup of cooked barley instead of heavy cream. End your day with a nourishing dessert, a warm baked pear topped with lightly toasted buckwheat groats. After just 2 weeks of following this simple plan, you may notice dramatic improvements in your energy levels, digestion, and sleep quality, thanks to high-quality fiber that feeds beneficial gut bacteria, boosting natural melatonin production. More importantly, these grain swaps reduce harmful sugar spikes and help starve cancer cells by restricting the blood vessel growth they depend on. Every grain choice you make builds your health, either strengthening your body against cancer or quietly stacking the odds against you. Tonight, take just a few minutes to audit your pantry, swapping harmful grains for healing options. Share this video with someone who needs hope, inspiration, and practical advice. Together, let's eat to beat disease, thrive after 50, and build the healthy future you deserve.